A very warm welcome to you as you join us on today's episode of Tax Matters. Chamaka Ohauchi. Tick-tock, tick-tock. 10 months gone, 2 months to go. We do hope that with things gradually settling down, we are all beginning to pick up the pieces of our businesses. It is often said that only two things are certain in life: death and taxes. No matter what you do, no matter the condition, you must pay taxes. And so, we'll begin today's episode with tax education.
Do you provide goods and services? Then you must answer these important questions. Are you registered for VAT? Do you charge VAT on the goods and services you provide? Do you keep records of all your transactions? Do you file VAT returns? Do you remit VAT collected to government coffers? If your answer to any of these questions is no, then you are breaking the law. The law demands total compliance. Therefore, you must register for VAT. You must charge VAT on goods and services. You must file VAT returns. And you must remit all VAT collected on behalf of government within 21 days to the bank nearest to you. To do otherwise is a crime punishable everywhere in the world. VAT is prescribed by the law. Do the right thing. Collect and pay VAT. This message is from the FIRS. It pays to pay your tax.
Welcome once again. As you must have been alerted by the advertisement you just saw, our focus today is on value-added tax, VAT. Value-added tax was introduced in Nigeria in 1993, with the law and actual collection commencing in January 1994. At inception, the rate of VAT in Nigeria was 5%, but following the amendment of the VAT Act in the Finance Act 2019, the rate became 7.5% with effect from the 1st of February 2020. Value-added tax is borne by the consumer, whether at the point of purchase at the supermarket, in an hotel, or at a car mart. The due sum of VAT is added to the actual cost of the good or service. For example, if a generating set is 100,000 naira, the VAT at 7.5% is 7,500 naira, making the total payable by the buyer 107,500 naira. The seller still collects her 100,000 naira and remits 7,500 to the Federal Inland Revenue Service. The FIRS is the sole collector of VAT in Nigeria. That is to say, the FIRS collects VAT on behalf of the 3 tiers of government, and revenue so collected is shared at FAC every month. Still talking about the final consumer bearing the brunt of VAT. This applies to individuals, to companies, and to ministries, departments, and agencies. That is, if the Nigerian Immigration Service awards a contract for the supply of uniforms or air conditioners, it is the Immigration Service that pays the VAT, regardless of the fact that it is a government agency. In this regard, the contractor, or supplier if you like, submits what is known as a tax invoice that will state the cost of the supply and also state separately the sum of VAT due on the purchase. At the point of payment, the Nigerian Immigration Service deducts the VAT sum at source, even though it is the sufferer of the VAT. That sum is to be remitted to the FIRS. Next episode, we'll be talking about how to file for value-added tax and how to remit value-added tax. But then, in rounding up, let us state this. Whether there is VAT to be remitted or not, filing for VAT on a monthly basis is compulsory for all qualifying organizations. We use the word qualifying because the Finance Act 2019 has exempted a lot of the erstwhile qualifying organizations from charging and collecting VAT. That is another matter for another day. Permit us to also say this. When we talk about deductions at source, apart from VAT, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as corporate organizations that award contracts of any kind, are also required by law to deduct withholding tax. There is confusion about these two deductions occurring on a payment, especially in days past when the rate of VAT was 5%. Read our lips. VAT, which is now 7.5%, is different from withholding tax. Withholding tax has multiple rates. That also is another matter for another day. Thank you for staying with us. It is a known fact that revenue is the major challenge facing our dear country, Nigeria. The budget needs to be funded, infrastructures need to be put in place, and the 3 tiers of government need revenue to function. We need to diversify the economy to generate more revenue. And so, we went to town to feel the pulse of the public.
It's not so tasking to do. It's not something that we need all the experts from all over the world. We have mineral resources everywhere. In the local government where I come from, I hear that there are about 18 deposits in Akoko Edo local government in Edo State, close to this part that is close to the borderline with Kogi and Ondo. You go there, you'll find all kinds of deposits. That's why around that same place is where you find the Okpela cement, on the other side. Let's move away from crude oil and let's go to mineral deposits and let's go to taxes if they are properly mined, if they are properly collected, made convenient for the people, not slamming huge sums. There are a whole lot of houses, for example, in Abuja that are not occupied. Maybe it's time to put some small tax on them so that they will be used, so that people will occupy them, and that will also have another effect of reducing homelessness. The government has to have a concerted, coordinated approach to some of these issues. In one blow, you can cut down on housing challenge. In that same blow, you raise revenues, and then you make life better for the people. But don't make it so like it's punitive. I mean, when tax becomes like punitive, it's a discouragement. It's a discouraging factor. But when you make it easy and they can see in return, this is what we have done with your taxes. There was one time, whether it was Tinubu's regime or the regime after it, you would find out they will put signboards at the construction site. They will ask you to pay tax. This is the work your tax is doing, and they put the Eko Nibaja or something like that, So something like that. When people see, as I pay my tax, work is going on, schools are being repaired, and everything, we'll be happy.
We actually need to diversify. We need to explore other economic sectors like the agriculture, the manufacturing sectors, and as well going into taxations, because there are a lot of areas that taxation is seriously being neglected. However, I think sectors like the Nigerian customs, the Nigerian immigrations, and other institutions are doing very well in generating more money for Nigeria beside the money we earn from the sales of crude oils.
Nigeria as a country is very blessed. We are blessed. Naturally, we are blessed. Look at what is going on in Zamfara. Zamfara has a lot of gold. And so do Elisha in Osun State. So many spots that they have this natural, we are blessed naturally. So government's failure to tap on these natural gifts has a problem. For instance, if they develop that sector of the economy, there will be more jobs for the populace, there will be more jobs for the masses, and of course, over-dependent on oil will not happen because we'll be getting more revenue from that sector of the economy. So these are and so many other things. Even our waterways are there. The government is just trying of recent time to develop waterways, but not even to the extent that we can be boastful of having a better waterways where people can be walking. We have a lot that can be walking. We have fishes in our ocean that can be tapped and all that.
And from the president of the CITN.
We need to forget about the oil revenue and focus on taxation. Now, imagine if the government did not lock up the borders. And now COVID has come. Cotonou cannot import rice. And we don't have our own rice. What happens? We need to integrate. Agriculture should be a priority. We are paying too much lip service to it. How on earth can you say you are an oil producing country and you export your crude and then import it back? I mean, does it stand to reason? All these years, and nobody has sat down to say no. Even if for 1 year we are not going to have fuel, we must develop our own refinery. We need to take some drastic steps, and I'm happy that our president is taking some of these drastic steps. This is what we need. We need to look inward. We need to do backward integration. Oni of Ife gave them fumigator. It was fabricated in Nigeria, in Osun State. He gave Edo State. It was developed in Nigeria. So we have the wherewithal. So we need to look inward.
You are still on to tax matters and still on the matter of making taxation the bedrock of the Nigerian economy. The authorities of the Osman Danfodio University, Sokoto, came calling at Revenue House, Abuja, on Tuesday, the 6th of October 2020. And as you will presently find out, the university is planning to host a symposium on taxation and challenges of external shocks, lessons and policy options for Nigeria. Professor Lawal Biobis is the Vice Chancellor of the Osman Danfodio University, Sokoto.
We have a chair endowed by the Federal Inland Revenue Service on taxations. So when the economic meltdown started, sometimes October last year, I, the Vice Chancellor, put up a team to see how can we weather the storm as a nation. What can universities offer as a solution to the current economic problems facing the world? It is on record that we are the first university to alert the nation of the danger of the COVID into our country, when it was only in the China, even China within one province. We said, okay, how can we use these situations as a catalyst to redesign the Nigerian economic system that relies solely on crude as major source of foreign currency for the country. Even though GDP contribution of the crude, I'm sure you know better than myself, something that we can be talking between now to the end of the day. And one of the best and the first line that we could follow is actually with our taxations. And that's why we are here today. Executive Chairman, what we think the university and the Federal Inland Revenue Service can work and organize a symposium, a workshop, a roundtable, whatever we think is the best to achieve what we want to achieve. And we proposed a name on that, taxation and challenges of external shocks. Taxation and challenges of external shock, lesson and policy options for Nigeria.
Executive Chairman FRS, Mr. Muhammad Nami, appreciated the initiative of the university and pledged to give the request the necessary consideration.
The proposed symposium is not only apt, but focusing on key issues that certainly will address our current and future challenges, and coming at a time that the entire world economy is challenged as a result of this COVID-19. It is also coming at a time when revenue from oil and gas sector is going down. It's coming at a time when technology, investment in technology is now being done in such a manner that in the near future, the oil and gas that we solely rely upon may not be the one that may be driving the world economy again. We appreciate you for coming. We appreciate that which you want to do, and we will look at the proposal again.
Thank you for staying with us. As you know already, the CITN is the umbrella body for tax administrators and tax collectors, men and women working as administrators at revenue authorities at federal and state levels, as well as tax advisors plying their trade in the private sector. On admission into the ranks of chartered tax practitioners, qualified men and women are admitted as associates. 5 years after applying their trade as associates and having been found worthy of elevation, the associate members become fellows. On Saturday, the 10th of October 2020, 374 SY associates were conferred with the fellowship of the CITN. In her address, Dame Olajimoke Simples enjoined the new fellows to live up to expectation.
I congratulate all on attaining this milestone in your chosen professional career as tax professionals. At the end of this ceremony, you will join the growing list of fellows on the roll call of the CITN, which entitles you to enter the suffix FCTI after your names, including your other privileges preserved for fellows. Dear distinguished colleagues, let me emphasize that with your conferment as fellows, much more is expected of you as members. You are therefore expected to strive at all times to enhance the respect, admiration, and good name of the Institute.
The CITN president also had a word of advice for the government.
May I seize this opportunity to underscore the need for fiscal discipline by government at all times. While we recognize that government revenue has been worst hit by COVID, with over 60% contraction due to the COVID effects, we advise that tax efforts should be concentrated in bringing more entities into the tax net and not strangulating existing taxpayers.
Dame Simples also seized the occasion to commend the administration of President Buhari for putting together the Finance Act for the second time.
We would like to also acknowledge the fact that this current government, has kept pace with the fact that the finance bill has already been submitted to the National Assembly, and we hope that by 1st January it will be assented to
and it will be operational. We want to appreciate the government for doing this.
Speaking in the same vein like the CITN president, guest speaker of the day, Mr. Yomi Olubenro, enjoined the new fellows to live above board.
When you put that mark FCTI in front of your name, it's a mark of professional accomplishment. People see you not as a starter or as a baby in that profession. They see you as a distinguished professional who has attained the peak in their chosen profession. You are seen as an elder in the profession. You are seen as a custodian of the ethics of that profession. You are seen as a senior ambassador. What does this elevation, what obligation does it confer on each and every conferee today? It should be a call, for starters, it should be a call for you to deepen your knowledge and your technical capabilities. You cannot be a fellow and not speak as an authority in the profession for which you have been recognized as an elder. Taxation is a dynamic profession, and I can't be a fellow, I can't be a council member, and I go out and I'm displaying ignorance. I want to charge everyone here today that if there's one thing that you must focus on as a pursuit, let it be that quest for knowledge. And knowledge in this case must be knowledge that is relevant. We are in technology-driven world. A whole lot of things are changing. You need technical skill, but you also need skill that is relevant for this task practice. The second thing that you must do as a fellow, as an elder of this profession, is that you must recognize that you have a duty to contribute to national development.
And then the climax.
The 14th president, Dame Gladys Olajumoke Simplis, you have standing before you 374 members of the Institute. Each of them has been an associate member for not less than 5 years, with the exception of 3 who are special conferees of Fellowship Award. They are all qualified to be inducted as Fellows of the Institute. In accordance with the Institute's charter, CITN Act Cap C10 Volume 2, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, I hereby present them to you to be inducted as Fellows of our great institute.
I, you guys call your name, do solemnly swear that I shall always comply with the provisions of the Institute's charter, bear true allegiance to the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria.
With the conferment of fellowship on these 374 men and women, the CITN now has a total of 4,374 fellows. Remember, as we always counsel, for tax matters, do not attempt to navigate the field by yourself. Employ the services of registered tax practitioners. Here is wishing all the new fellows of the CITN the very best in their endeavors. We thank you for watching today. And remember, the 22nd Annual Tax Conference holds in Lagos from the 4th to the 6th of November 2020. See you there.